What's going on, guys? Duelim here, back again with another video. And today, we're going to be talking about Northstar and his initial release, what ISO class you should put on him, and what T4s are going to be absolutely essential for making the team work. We're also going to be talking about who you should put diamonds on when it comes to Nova, Quicksilver, or Green Goblin Classic. So if you're ready, let's get into it. Kicking off the video, we're going to be talking about Dark Diamond promotion credits and who you should take up immediately now that Nova, Green Goblin Classic, and Quicksilver are available in the game. So first up, we're going to talk about Nova. And as you can see here, I don't even have 7 red on Nova. And the reason why is he does pretty much everything you need at 5 red. His turn 1 stun is super important. But guess what? That's almost always going to stun because of his passive, which I can actually T4 now. Awesome. Because of his passive. He's got the charge. He's got the extra focus when he's charged, if I'm not mistaken. For each charge in this character, you gain 1,000% focus. Yep, and 4,000% resist. So he's got that extra charge, which makes it so his stun will almost always land unless it gets like blocked, which is a 25% chance to 100% chance resist it. So there's really no need to take him up higher, in my opinion. His health is really good at 3 million. His damage is pretty good at 140,000. His speed is great at 126. But if you do see Nova start falling off a little bit when you're using him for damage purposes, or if you're super into war, then absolutely take him up. But for my uses in Cosmic Crucible, I feel like he is doing everything I need him to do. And if he's doing everything I need him to do, what is the point in putting more resources into him? I feel like if you're going to put resources into a character, it's to solve a problem that you've been having with the character on a constant basis. And right now, I have no problems with Nova. Next up, we're going to talk about Quicksilver. And yeah, Quicksilver, he is already 7 red for me. People are really going to be confused about this for honestly, because people are going to think that you should do Nova over Quicksilver, but I think Quicksilver is just absolutely disgusting as a character. He is so good. You can see his stats here. He's at 3 million health, just like Nova was, but Nova was only at 5 red, but he's at 137,000 damage. His damage is a little low, but you got to remember, he's taking 2 turns every single time he takes 1 turn. So technically the damage is almost doubled because he's going twice. His speed is really good at 125, which is also really nice. He's an incredible striker because his basic hits a lot of different times. His clear 2 random positive effects, repeat this attack once, and then repeat additional time if the primary target has any positive effects, which they almost always do. So you're hitting 3 times, and you're going to be hitting for piercing as well when they have those positive effects, and it ignores defense up, which is really nice. His special is going to be always really good kit-wise because it's a 30% speed bar reduction. Also, it ignores defense up, and I'm almost positive, yeah, it clears all charge on the primary target as well. And you need stats to be able to do this as well because this can be resisted. Also, it clears all negative effects. So more reason to put more stats on Quicksilver, which is going to be those diamonds. And then his ult is also going to clear all negative effects on himself, which is really nice. And then it's going to be apply 2 random negative effects to each enemy. So again, he is a really good character at high stars and high red stars, and in this case, diamonds. He's also putting vulnerables out there, so he's going to be able to striker attack on his own vulnerables, which is really nice. So I really think Quicksilver is a good candidate for diamonds, honestly. But I do think Green Goblin Classic is the best candidate for diamonds. As you can see, I already have 1 diamond on him, and I would have 3 diamond on him if I had already seen him in the store, but I've only seen him once so far. There's not enough good things I can say about Green Goblin Classic. I mean, he's at 3 million health, but his health isn't the reason why he's really good. His damage is. He's got 153k damage. I think he's around 209,000 when he's at 3 diamond. His speed's at 128, which is extremely fast. That's faster than Icarus, actually. So that's really good. His kit is nuts as well. His ultimate is a trauma, rewind, heal block, It's a bigger rewind the more Sinister 6 or Superior 6 allies you have. It gives safeguard to all Sinister 6 allies as well. So, I mean, that's ridiculously strong. It can't be counterattacked, can't be dodged. His passive pings do a ridiculous amount of damage. And then also, if you have that T4 on him, he gets extra charge as well from his ultimate, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he gains another 2 charge. So that means he's going to end up having 5 charge, essentially, on spawn, because he ults turn 1 really quickly. And then the basic T4 passive, well, the Awaken passive, gives crit chance, so you can make him a striker at that point once you have that basic, because he's probably going to crit already. He has incredible uses in War, and then also incredible uses in Cosmic Crucible. I am taking him up to 3 diamond without a shadow of a doubt. And then for Quicksilver, I'm probably going to wait just to make sure I have enough diamonds for when somebody else super important comes out, like a Black Knight, maybe Super Scroll, anything like that. But Green Goblin Classic, I've been saving for him, and he will be going to the absolute moon as soon as I can. Alpha Flight is upon us, and Northstar is going to be the first member who's going to be coming out. His tags are Hero, Global, Mutant, Controller, and Alpha Flight, and he is rocking a speed of 127, so he will absolutely be going first on the team. He's going to be really, really good on this team, and he's going to be the controller who's going to be putting a lot of negative effects. So let's hop into the T4s, and the first one we're going to talk about is the basic. And honestly, I think this is going to be a luxury. The fact that this is a single target basic, so it's only going to put trauma on a singular enemy, is kind of meh. If this was an AoE, I would say this is an absolute monster of a T4. But the fact that it's just a single target and it's just putting trauma and it's only when you have 10 charged, it's kind of meh. It might be more impactful when we're playing with it on War Defense, and it could really change some matchups, or if we're playing with it in those Spotlight raids. But honestly, this is kind of a meh for me right now. As for his special, Shining Strike, the T4 is going to be a 60% damage to primary and secondary targets, and then applying blind for 2 turns. That is really, really good. So this is going to go to the raids, and it's also going to go to the War Defense as well. And again, this is that War. This is the rebound chain as well. So it's already going to apply 1 blind in raids, and then it's going to apply 2 blind to the primary target. So I think this is absolutely a necessity T4 to make sure you can control whoever is on those Spotlight raids. If there's like a Green Goblin Classic that you don't want pinging, or maybe like an Apocalypse or something like that that you want blind, you don't want him taking his turns and doing some bad stuff, you could definitely use this one. I think this one's going to be really good. It also gives 60% damage to primary and secondary targets, which obviously rebound chains can really do some big damage because it could be bouncing between just 2 characters who are left. So I think this special is going to be probably an essential to control enemies a lot better. As for the ultimate, Hyper Light Twister, first of all, incredible name. I absolutely love that. It's going to be 40% damage to all enemies, prolong the duration of all negative effects, excluding stun, trauma, ability block, and all enemies by 1. I think this is an absolute essential. This is essentially like a Scarlet Witch ultimate, but you need the T4 to be able to prolong everything. So I think this is an absolute necessity. It's also unavoidable, which makes this even better. So I think this is a no-brainer T4, just like the special is. I think this one's going to be pretty much essential to making his kit work really, really well. Unfortunately, you can't extend that trauma like you can with Scarlet Witch or the ability block, which is kind of annoying. I think it's kind of bad that only Scarlet Witch can extend that trauma and ability block when Scarlet Witch is just so useless. But let's hop into the passive. True North, and on the T4, on spawn, apply 2 evade. Immediately, right then and there, it's a T4. But there's more. So in raids and on War Defense, while this character does not have exhausted, enemies cannot gain charged. So this is essentially just for War Defense. I don't know why they would include raids. There's no exhaust mechanic in raids, Scopely. Maybe it was easier to code. I don't know. But this essentially means that it's a lot harder to one-shot this team. So putting the T4 on the passive is specifically for War Defense. So if you are not a big War Defense kind of guy, Big War Alliance. No need to put this on, honestly, because this is only affecting war defense. This does absolutely nothing for raids. And as for Northstar's ISO-8 class, I'm going to be doing Skirmisher because he's got so many negative effects he's trying to land. He's trying to land those blinds on his special. He's trying to extend all of these negative effects, and also he's trying to flip positive effects on all enemies as well. So this is going to make him a prime skirmisher choice without a shadow of a doubt. He is going to be an absolutely nuts skirmisher, especially if he's ulting turn 1. If you have that ult ready to go, he's going to be flipping everything right off rip, and he's going to be making those enemies just have no positive effects on spawn, flipping all that stuff, and then giving all those negative effects. So controller means pretty much skirmisher is going to be the go-to, but that's what we're going to be doing for Northstar class. And I recommend stopping at blue ISO 4 as well, because I don't think he's going to need blue ISO 5 unless you are super into war or those raids are ridiculously hard. But again, those spotlight raids only need blue ISO 4, so stick with that. There's no need to go higher. That's going to be it for this one. So in summation, make sure you're putting all those diamonds on Green Goblin Classic first, then Quicksilver, then Nova. But honestly, at that point, I feel like saving would be better. And Northstar Essential T4s, we've got the passive, the ult, and the special. The basics, pretty luxury. And don't forget to put Skirmisher on him so he's landing all those negative effects from that special and the ultimate. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I hope it gave you guys some information that you were looking for. But until next time, this has been Duelum. Later, y'all.